right, markets are closed today, obviously, for Juneteenth. So we'll need to wait another day before seeing the impact of the Fed decision to leave interest rates unchanged and see how that's impacting Wall Street. The decision was unanimous, but reaching a consensus about the road ahead may not be easy. I want to bring in CBS News business contributor Javier David. He is the business editor of the Dallas Morning News. So, all right, Javier, what's been the reaction to this moment from the Fed? I mean, we knew that it was sort of widely reported that they were going to keep things unchanged, but still, what are you hearing?
So 2 words, as expected. My favorite summary comes from a top Citibank strategist. He called it the blah FOMC. It was entirely a non-event. But look, we're at an interesting sort of inflection point where there are headwinds coming from tariffs and the deteriorating fiscal picture, which we really don't talk enough about for my money. But the economic status quo still seems to be prevailing. Businesses and consumers, they're challenged, but they're still spending and hiring, and the economy's growing. It's not gangbusters, but it's still growing. Inflation's muted, not entirely contained, and all of that means the central bank is banking on this idea that they can be patient in cutting rates, even if the Fed chair has the president of the United States sort of incessantly chirping in his ear to cut.
So to that end, let's put up a True Social post that the president just posted. Again, we know that he's been sort of belligerent to the Fed chair, and basically here it is, too late. I don't know why that's in quotes, but too late, Jerome Powell is costing our country hundreds of billions of dollars. He is truly one of the dumbest, most destructive people in government, and the Fed board is complicit. Europe has had 10 cuts. We've had none. We should be 2.5 points lower and save billions on all of Biden's short-term debt. We have low inflation. Too late's an American disgrace. Probably the hardest I've heard the president talking about the Fed chair and just sort of attacking and belittling his intelligence. Not going to change his mind, I don't think. But you know, how does the street take something like this?
Yeah, well, the New York Times had a great observation, and it's kind of the Fed's consistent with the Fed's expectations. The word that they've shied away from using is stagflation. So they expect slower growth, more downside risk, more price pressures to be persistent. That's stagflation in all but name. And you'll see this in the dot plot projection that we all sort of obsess over. Fewer of them are expecting to cut. It's not just the Fed chair, by the way. Fewer of the policymakers are expecting to cut rates by year's end. A slightly bigger number see no changes. All of that sort of puts the Fed in a bind because they have to choose between their 2 mandates. Either you support the jobs market by loosening policy, or you risk losing control on the inflation narrative by juicing the economy with too much stimulus when it's already price pressures, again, are still running sort of hot. So the president is going to continue to tweet or to continue to post to True Social, but I expect Jerome Powell to continue to ignore it as he has. He's very much about data dependency and following the numbers, and they are banking, again, on this idea that they can sort of sit on their hands for a while.
Yeah, I want to play for you and for our viewers what Chair Powell had to say to our Kelly O'Grady when she asked him about the road ahead. Listen to this.
What made you feel comfortable cutting then when inflation was higher than where it is today and you didn't cut today?
Well, the forecast for inflation in December was 2.5. Core PCE for 2025, the forecast was 2.5%. Which is a good inflation forecast. I think what we've learned is that, and this was long before we had any idea of what the actual policies would be, we've learned that tariffs are going to be substantially larger than forecasters generally thought.
All right. So what did you make of that?
Yeah, the tariffs are really kind of the wild card here. I think that is one of the primary reasons, if not the central reason, why the Fed has decided that they're going to sit on their hands for a while. It's a real headwind. It is inflation. It's inflationary. And as I've said this once, I've said it a billion times, tariffs are taxes, and taxes raise prices on consumers and businesses. And when they have to pay more, that means that prices are going to go up and somebody's going to have to eat them. So this is, central to what the Fed is looking at, which is they're not comfortable with where we're headed. We have a lot of up and downs on tariff rates. It's just too much of a headwind to ignore.
All right, Javier David, with some very wise words of wisdom there. Happy Juneteenth, brother. Sorry to make you work. It's good to see you.
That's all right.